What's going on, people? Welcome back to another Jstv. It's a Jstv special. Tonight, I've got Paul with me. Hi to you, Paul.
How are you doing, mate? You all right?
I'm great. I'm absolutely fine, and I hope you're well as well. It's just forgot Paul Martin. He is a Geordie singer for AK Karma, and he's hoping to get to #1 in December, and hopefully, if you support the guy, then hopefully he gets #1, hopefully. So I'm delighted to be joined by guest as Paul. And also we want to get to know more about the man behind this music, his aspirations, and his journey as a Newcastle supporter.
Absolutely. That sounds good to me.
Great stuff.
Ask away. I'm here to talk.
Cool stuff. Cool. Yeah, man. Let's do it. And guys, if you like what you watch, make sure you like and subscribe. Also, super chats are open. And if you'd like to become a member, it's 99p as well. So tonight, we're happy to help promote your new release. Christmas is with you. But tell us how you started in the music industry and have you always worked in this field?
Right. Well, I've been a singer since I could walk. I think I was 3-year-old when my mum and dad entered me in Blackpool on a talent competition. Heard the crowd go crazy because I was a kid, obviously. And I thought, I like this. So growing up in school, I was always singing. I was always acting, entertaining. And I think I started writing songs when I was 12, 13, 14. And when I left school, I went straight to college, did drama, music theatre, and basically all my life I've been a singer, entertainer.
Fantastic stuff. And also, so what do you see as your career going forward, your career highlights going forward?
What do you think my highlights will be going forward?
Yeah.
I think, in all honesty, I think the Geordie singer is going to get way bigger. I think I haven't even started with that yet. I mean, I haven't even sang on the pitch at St. James's yet. I haven't even, as far as I'm aware, I don't even think I've been played on the sound system. So that's got to change. It will change. Things will get better.
Yeah.
And with my Karma stuff, I do believe there's a hit on the horizon in the next, could be the next few weeks, could be the next few years, but there's something going to happen. I can feel it.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. And also as well, what prompted you to write Christmas Is With You, and does writing a song for Christmas involve a different approach to the standard song?
Well, I don't know really if it's a different approach apart from the lyrics itself and the production of the music, but whatever type of song I write, whether it's a pop song or a Geordie song, it always has to be catchy, something that when it's finished you kind of remember it. So is it different to writing a normal hit? Maybe you might put a little bit more effort in, I think, because that with Christmas songs they have the potential to come back each year, and as a songwriter could make you a few quid each year. So maybe you give it a bit more effort.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, music industry is quite a tough gig at the moment. Like, there's so many people going in for #1s, and it's just everywhere around the world. You know what I mean? You've got to be so good to actually be a successful singer, which I believe you are, and I think you will be in time. So yeah. Also as well, and the next one is, where can everyone download or purchase your song to help you get to that #1 spot?
Well, I've got a website which is quite straightforward, christmasnumber12023.co.uk. So as optimistic as it sounds, do I really think I'm going to be in #1 at Christmas? No. Would I like to be? Yes, because I don't have the promotion that Lad Baby, Ed Sheeran, and the rest of them are going to have. So I've just got to hope for some sort of miracle, and everybody on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube gets behind it, because that's what it's all about these days. So yeah, www.christmasnumber12023.co.uk. That's
fantastic. What I'll do, I'm going to put the link in the description later on, and if you just give us that again on Facebook, I'll put it in there as well later on for you, mate. So yeah, also as well, it's just please ask us questions asked you as well, which are pretty good, especially chat as well. Have you ever written a Newcastle United Pacific song, and if so, what was the inspiration?
Yeah, I've written quite a few songs about Newcastle United. I think one of the ones that sprung to mind there was last year, just before the cup final. I wrote a song called "We Are United," and because I used to see the logo on the website saying "We Are United," and
Yeah.
so I found this really powerful music from my producer in Spain, and I listened to it and I said, right, I want that "We Are United," and it was written specifically about how they went from we were all in despair. They were playing badly. We were on the verge of relegation, and then Amanda came and the consortium, and it's all about how we changed and how the fans all of a sudden have something to believe in. And as a club and a fan base, we are united again, and that's what that song is pretty. I like that one. We Are United. If you get a chance to listen to that.
I will definitely 100% there as well. And where did you grow up, and what was your first memory of being a Newcastle fan? Gone on to the football bit. Is going to ask the mixtures of music and football.
Of
So
course.
where did you grow up?
Well, I was born in Gateshead, born in Leam Lane, born in Gateshead, and my dad was a Newcastle United fan through and through. And he took me to, I think the first game, I could have been about 10, 11. It was back in, sort of trying to think, about 1980 or the early 80s. And there was, I'm trying to think which players were playing, but I did used to see Waddle, and I did see Gaza and Beardsley. Beardsley was always my favourite player growing up. He's still one of the greatest Newcastle players I've ever seen. He was like the Geordie Messi. He could just get the ball and just take on, half the team. So, yeah, them was my early memories. And we weren't very good back then.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Beardsley and Gaza didn't stick around that long,
I know. We needed the money as well, didn't we? And they just want to further their career. But if it's today, they'd be going absolutely nowhere. I mean, Peter Beardsley would be worth what? Oh, you talk about at least 100 mil, and that's the beginning.
And the rest, he was incredible. So, yeah, he would if he was in his prime on our pitch right now, he still would be one of the best players, if not the best player on the pitch.
Yeah, probably in Europe as well. So I'll go with that as well. And obviously, you just mentioned who's your favorite player and past and present, and why. You just mentioned him, Gaza.
So, well, I would say Beardsley and Shearer.
Beardsley and Shearer.
Shearer, for obvious reasons, he was just a leader, and he just put the ball in the back of the net every single time. And I wrote a song about him, Shearer. So about how he's the greatest Newcastle scorer and possibly player of all time.
Yeah, I'd go with it as well. I mean, Shearer, in my era, the greatest of all time. Shearer, Beardsley, you could say Ginola as well. And they were absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Brilliant players in black and white. Got one from the pun. He's a big Chelsea fan, hiding the pun. What made you a Newcastle fan?
Well, I guess you've got to say, my dad took me, and from then on, I was hooked. It's normally as a fan, it normally comes from either your parents or where you live. Luckily, I was just a mile over the bridge from Newcastle, from the quayside up to Gateshead, where I lived for like 20 years. I could walk into Newcastle, and my dad was a passionate Newcastle fan, so I don't think there was ever going to be any choice really. Newcastle was who I supported.
Yeah, thanks for that, Nipun. Also, as well, what moment as a Newcastle fan would you say is that number one for you?
What moment?
Yeah. Any moments, your great moments, and
I mean, there's certain matches, but at the moment, I have to say the takeover.
Yeah,
the takeover because I'd written the takeover song, and it'd been sitting there on ice for a year, and I got the feeling that it was never going to happen, and we were always going to be fighting relegation and struggling. So when the news came on Sky Sports that the deal had gone through, it was just the best relief and excitement that I can remember as a Newcastle fan. So that, yeah.
Brilliant. That's my greatest moment as well, too. It's just like winning a title. Do you know what I mean? So can't beat it. Let's go to the next question is, what similarities or even differences do you see between the current squad and management compared to the entertainment era or entertainment eras?
But yeah, I mean, the entertainers era was just unbelievable, fantastic. What differences do I see? I guess the differences I see now is we didn't know it back then, but we can only get even better now, you know, because we had a couple of good owners back there. Back then, you know, Shepherd and Hall, Newcastle fans through and through. But what we have now is the potential to go on to bigger and better things because, you know, on paper, we've got the richest owners in the world. So the future looks amazing. So, yeah, those were good days. But I think now with this ownership, we're going to have a happy ending. Literally, we're going to have something coming soon.
Yeah,
you know.
Absolutely. I've got a question later on as well. But first of all, let's have a look at this next question. Let's have a look at this one. During the entertainers era, we were or seemed to be everyone's second club. Why do you think that's the person other fans seems negative about Newcastle this time around?
Purely jealousy, you know, because we'd been out of the top four for so long. We'd struggled, and you know, everybody was just looking at us as another, you know, up and down type of club. And then when the money came, I can see jealousy. I can understand it. You know, like if you know the money went to Sunderland or the money went to somebody else, you're probably going to be looking, going, I wish that was us. And you're just going to start, you know, trying to criticize it. And I think that's the problem. I do secretly think a lot of people still will have us as their second favorite club, because people do like Geordies, and you know they're probably enjoying the football scene as well. The way we're very passionate and we're very aggressive, and we always try and you know outmuscle the team we're playing. But I think it'll maybe just take a little bit of time. But what they've got to realize is a lot of our players that are playing brilliant at the moment weren't bought by the big money. They were bought before the big money, and they've just become better players. So it'll take time, but I think eventually a lot of fans will look at us as maybe the secret second favorite club.
Yeah, for me as well. I mean, they didn't. The Big Six club didn't want us to have a takeover, right? And because you didn't want us to upset the apple cart.
Exactly.
And you know, I've always said as well, if we get this takeover, also if we do get in the top six, which we did eventually get last season, got on fourth, then everyone's going to be scared. Everyone's going to be clearly rattled. And that's exactly what happened. We're the big elephant in that room. And all of a sudden, they just didn't like it. Liverpool hated it because they got the Europa League. Yeah, Tottenham, couldn't get in as well. But you know what? At the end of the day, I mean, we're going to be here for a long time.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Whether they like it or not. Good
time to be a Geordie.
Exactly. You've got it. And let's go to the next one. What are your thoughts on our season so far?
Mixed. Mainly brilliant, of course. You know, but I was surprised the start we had. After watching us in the friendlies, I thought we could have done a bit better against Liverpool, and was it Brighton away when we get beat 3-3? I think 3-1, didn't it? But I just think, I'm not disappointed. I'm happy, and obviously I'm disappointed with the injuries, but I think that just shows how big a squad and how talented a squad you need to compete in 3-4 different tournaments. So really, I would say we're probably not exactly where I thought would be. I thought we'd still be in the top four by now, but I know for a fact we will get back in the top four. That's going to happen. But I think it's a lesson learned for the owners that you can't just have two good strikers in the Premier League and compete in the Champions League and everything else. You need four. You know, you look back to every great club that's competed. You've got to have 4 of every good, you know, position. So, you know, when Isak and Wilson are playing, you know, we need another Isak and Wilson to step in.
Yeah, I've got to kind of agree. I hope we get someone in January. We need another striker in January, definitely.
At least one. At least one.
At least one. Thing is, though, I mean, our summer targets now, I think we need to get them, bring them forward and get them in January, because at the end of the day, right? I mean, if that means I have to pay over the odds, then we're going to have to pay over the odds, in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? And then in the summer, then we've got our summer targets into January, which I think is right, because at the minute, I don't think you look at it. We've got squad depth on numbers, but you haven't got enough quality, in my opinion. Not yet. Not yet.
You know, Botman was and still is one of the greatest defenders I've seen in a Newcastle shirt.
I agree.
But when he's not there, you know, even though we have just played pretty well without him, but we need another Botman. We need another somebody else, at least, you know, because Lascelles has done great. You know, Fabian Shaw does great and everything, but injuries, you know, you've got to have a couple of world-class players in reserve as well. And I know they don't like it, but that's how they don't like sitting on the bench. But that's how you become, you know, a top 4 team year in, year out. You know, you've got to have that competition. And we have been unlucky, though, you know, with Barnes and a few other injuries. So fingers crossed. After this international break, if we get 2 or 3 back, you know, I think the Bournemouth game was I just think just a step too far with everything that's going on, and not having a recognised striker. You know, you can't get away with that in the Premier League. You can sometimes, but not all the time.
No, definitely not. I mean, you've got people like Ben Parkinson, who came on Saturday. I mean, look, I know he's eager. I mean, look, at the end of the day, he's a young lad, but you can tell that he's not ready for the Premier League, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. But we move. I guess we move. But we'll see what happens in future games as well. And let's go on to the next question. And what are your predictions for the remainder of the season?
Right. Well, my prediction at the beginning of the season was, and when I told people this, they thought I was crazy. I said Man City will probably win the league again, and I'm going to go for Newcastle to finish second. And then Arsenal and Liverpool to finish in the 3rd or 4th. Don't know who'd finish where. I think Liverpool are looking really good again this season. So that was my top 4, and I still believe that will be the top 4. Will Newcastle finish second, or will they finish 3rd, or will they finish 4th? I'd like to still think we could finish second, but let's face it. If I was to say to Newcastle fans now, would you take finishing 4th again this season? With everything that's going on with our squad in the Champions League, they'd go absolutely. But I just thought with the money we've got, and if we strengthen in the right areas, we could finish second. Of course we could, because we we were a match for Man City home and away last season. And, you know, we've beaten them at home this season. We got played off the park in the first half, and then we still beat them. And that's how you know you're becoming a good club, when you can, you know, because that Man United did that against us in the 90s. We played them off the park, and they scored 1 goal. And that's sometimes what you've got to do to be a big team, to go places. You've got to learn how to even be absolutely played off the park and yet still get a goal. You know, let's hope we can do that at PSG.
It's going to be tough for the Park of the Pines. Yes, we beat them already, but we might go there as a completely different team. We might go to the Park of the Pines like a recognised striker.
Well, hopefully by then, Isak should be back. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
We need him. We need him. And also as well, what are your predictions for the remainder of the season? Champions League, Prem, FA Cup, or the League Cup?
The Champions League, I mean, are we going to win our next 2 games? That is very, very... I mean, yeah, we can beat AC Milan. I think even if we were to get a draw against PSG, it would be amazing. But I'm not sure whether that is going to be enough. So maybe I'd like to think if we do win both our games, I know we can do it, but we can do it with a full strength squad. Can we do it with the squad we've got at the minute? It's maybe wishing a bit too much. So then I hope we get into Europa League. That would be amazing.
Yeah,
I think we're being we're getting really unlucky draws in the Carabao Cup, aren't we? I mean, we've had Man City, we've had Man United, and now we're getting Chelsea, who are all of a sudden starting to look like a great team. I think if we get through the Chelsea one, we could go on and win the Carabao Cup. So I'd like to think we're going to win one of the cups this year, finish second, maybe, hopefully, get through the Champions League. Could we go all the way? I don't know. Let's see what happens in January. But even if we're in the Europa League, let's just see if we can get to a final. I think we can win a cup this year. I don't know which one. If I was to take a guess now, I'll go for the FA Cup.
Yeah, I think that sounds a good shot. I mean, I'd love to win the FA Cup. That's one of my ambitions, to win the FA Cup and then build on that as well. I mean, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, then the Premier League's going to be too far stretched at this moment in time. Champions League, wishful thinking, but you never know. But and to see what happens.
Yeah.
So let's go. That's going to be the question set. We're going to go to the chat as well. Please get this chat coming in. And got first one from Leslie. Are your songs on the YouTube channel? Yes, it is.
Yeah, of course.
I've checked it as well.
Yeah.
So do go on to Paul's channel and check it out as well. It's got some cracking ones as well. Paul, what is your favourite Geordie song from Alan?
My favourite Geordie song that isn't mine, obviously, is there's two. My favourite Geordie song that got me into writing Geordie songs is "Coming Home Newcastle" by Busker, because that was the song that made me fall in love with writing Geordie songs. And the other one is "Big River," Jimmy Neal and Mark Knopfler, because when I was learning that about a year ago from a Geordie show, the lyrics are so good that sometimes when I was rehearsing it would bring tears to my eyes. So that's a powerful song. There's just something about that song that is just as a Geordie, just it just makes you so passionate.
Yeah.
So those two.
Fantastic. And can you remember the group Geordie? They sang Geordie, lost this Liggy great track.
Yeah.
70s. I think is he a 70s singer?
Yeah, it's
I think he is,
Brian Johnson from Geordie, and I've seen him singing it with the guy from Lindisfarne on Sunday for Sammy, and it's absolutely brilliant. So yeah, I do know that one, and it's a great song, but I don't sing it. Oh, Geordie's lost his Liggy. It's funny.
Yes, I've heard that. Good song as well. He saved me life in Gallagher's Inn. I went down when we were doing Hey Man, Horman, and he pulled us up by my coat sleeves. I've seen Leslie's chatting to Mr. Little as well. The tune are just going for a sticky toffee pudding moment, and I know we'd be final funds to get the top four. That's from Alan. Will we get our players back, Alan? We will be giving it a right go as well, trying to get for the top four. We've got to be positive as well. Be pleased to spec in the comments. Thank you indeed, Leslie, and rightly so. And do big up to Paul as well. Those were the good old days. Scotland's equalised again against Georgia, I believe. And there were Alan Straw, bigger of a song. Yep. Just let's chat to Mr. Little as well.
Yeah, and I like as well.
Got one. Good luck to all the Newcastle channels who has made it to the National Content Creators at Anfield tonight. Yes, thank you, Billy. And I'm not on that list, I'm afraid, but you never know next year. I'll be working hard than ever. And I hope you're okay, Billy Trey. And question of both, how many Newcastle legends have you met?
Oh my God. Right.
Wow.
I have met loads and loads because my pal Steve Wraith, who I used to go to college with, we were both acting at college. He used to do the sort of get all the players, and you'd go and meet and greet them at the Lancastrian Suite, the Fed Brewery. I've done St James's Park. So I've got my picture taken with Shearer, Gaza. I wrote a song for Sir Bobby. I've got a picture with Sir Bobby. I've met all of the entertainers because I performed for the return of the entertainers when they played Liverpool in all of those. Rob Lee, Beresford. Yeah, I've met a lot from back in the day. Steve Howie. Trying to think. Not a lot of the modern ones because I've been in. I was living in Mallorca for 9 years, so I've only just come back a few years ago. So I haven't met many of the current squad, but a lot of the 90s, the entertainers, those lot back in the day. I've either been to talk-ins with them or events.
Yeah, fantastic. I met Malcolm McDonald. I met Joe Allen as well. And,
I'm friends with Joe Allen.
Yeah, he's funny. He's quiet though, but he loves to tell stories, doesn't he? He loves to tell stories. I mean, I'd love to get on my channel at some stage, you know what I mean? But if I can get his Twitter handle, that sort of thing. If Joe's watching, he comes on one day. Got him. John Anson I've met as well. And Peter Beardsley. And let's be real, I mean, he is a fantastic. I've got a photo of him as well. Try to find it somewhere, post it out there again. Yeah, I mean, look, and I went to a particular hotel on Saturday at Bournemouth, and I've seen the players come out down the steps as well. I got a photo of Mad Dog as well, Jason Tyndall, and I tell you what, that guy is funny. He really is funny. You can talk to him, and he just loves chatting. Do you know what I mean? That guy, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I asked him, right, if I could get a selfie of you, right? And he goes, yeah, if you give us 2 minutes, that'd be great. And then 5 minutes he goes, mate, come here. So I did. You know what I mean? And he's a good guy. Alex Murphy, I met Alex Murphy as well. And I met a few Newcastle players as well. They're great guys as well. But Malcolm McDonald, he is a true Newcastle legend.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
I love him to bits as well. John, you never know.
Moncur, I've met Moncur.
Yeah,
obviously you see him quite a lot at St James's Park. I met who else did I meet? Oh, the name's not coming to me. Well, Kieran Dyer. I met Kieran Dyer in Tenerife, drunk as a skunk.
Yeah,
he was hilarious. And I've met Gaza a couple of times. I actually was in the old Julie's nightclub with Gaza, and he's just playing tricks and having a laugh. He was exactly like what everybody said he was. He was just a really good, fun guy.
It is. He is fun guy. I mean, I didn't realise Gas was in Bristol at the Bauer Club as well. If I had known, they would have done a little content in there as well. But I absolutely missed out on it. But you never know in the future years to see what happens. I met I've seen Steve Wraith. He's a great guy. I've seen some Leon Kennedy as well. Journal. So yeah, I spoke to a couple of guys on my channel as well. So Ben Jacobs too, amazing guy. John, you never know next year. You deserve it, mate. Thank you very much indeed, Alan. And let's kind of agree. Gets me food for the hard work he does. Thank you very much indeed, Alan. I want to talk about. I know you haven't got long, but we want to talk about tickets as well. Like tickets, like for away games, a point system, and I don't want to be careful what I say here, but I saw one today, right? Chelsea match, 4,300 tickets they're giving us, right? 900 of them goes to corporates and also as well to sponsors and also for the staff as well. There's a lot of things said on social media saying that 900 people for corporates and they're kind of kicking off. What's your take on that one? And I know you're quite passionate in what you say, but
well, I am passionate, but I've got to be honest. When it comes to away tickets, I'm not an expert because I struggle to get home tickets. So I don't really. I'm not fully aware of that situation that you've just told me. So I wouldn't like to comment on it because I don't know enough about it. But I do know that there certainly wouldn't be 900 corporate, people going to an away game. I mean, that's a rather a big made up number, isn't it? It's just basically glory hunters with lots of money.
Yeah, I mean, thing is, so there's just, I think, and for me, when I look back on it, I think it's just guesswork. Nobody knows because the club don't tell you anything at all whatsoever. Do you know what I mean? But for me, I think this point system by one ticket per person, and that's it for me. And I think that's kind of fair for me because at the end of the day, it gives people a chance to go because they used to buy like 4 tickets last season, the season before that, and now they just reduce it down to 1, and I think it's a fair point.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I was going to say as well, and you said that so we could get hopefully get in the top 4 this season, like, you know what I mean. But
Yeah.
I want to talk about Bruno Guimaraes as well. I mean, since he came through the club, right, and he's been absolutely wonderful, man. I mean, cost what, 35 million quid up to 40 mil. This guy's been absolutely fantastic. I know he's a bit of a hothead, but at the end of the day, right, I think this guy could go all the way. I mean, do you think he'll be a legend here? No doubt about it, and he will. But he's
I think,
being.
I think he already is a bit of a legend here. You know, like, you know, he was everybody's favorite player last season. You know, I am a little bit. I'm a little bit concerned with his hot-headedness lately, and I don't know what's causing that. But I've seen a little bit because he always had that kind of, like, you know, passion, aggression, and that's great. Newcastle need that. But then when you've seen him sort of swiping his arms around and doing all that, I'm wondering where that's all coming from. So, was he just trying to get that booking so he missed the Bournemouth game? Do you know, people were saying things like that. But let's hope that he just somehow keeps the passion, keeps the aggression, but just loses a couple of the silly tackles, because we need him, especially at the minute. You know, we need all of our big players. But yeah, he's a legend. He's amazing. But yeah, maybe just calm a little bit of the
elbows and that.
Just calm it down, mate. You know?
Exactly. Otherwise, you end up like Deontay Wilder, knocking everyone out.
Well, it's been a couple of times I've watched him and I thought, oh my God, he's going to get sent off there, but he doesn't. And I'm thinking, well, he's really, really close. And I don't know, you know, the referees maybe just like him a bit. So just he's something else. So he's unbelievable. He's a
great player. He's a great player. Often I have a chat with Jinky Jim Smith. He gets in the covered in market on a Tuesday. Jinky Jim. Do you know a lot about him? Gone back a while.
Yeah, I know the name. I don't know a lot about him.
He's good. I wasn't even born then, to be fair, but obviously Alan knows about him. Like, you know, I heard of him, but I never watched him play, to be fair. After thinking about it, do Carbo not allocate corporate tickets outside the club's allocation? I don't know. Just seems more likely to me. Leslie, I don't know. But all I do know is, according to one of the Twitter handler, that they're getting 900 tickets, but don't know how true that is. I don't know. But the thing is, though, I mean, touching on that as well, do you think the away fans now, there's a lot of fans kicking off on social media saying that the atmosphere is not the same anymore with this away tickets? I mean, you get ID checked, there's empty seats in the stadium. I mean, I went to the one against Brighton and there's quite a few empty seats and people buy the ticket. And I don't know whether they bought it or not. But at the end of the day, I think people are saying that the atmosphere is just not the same anymore away from home. And I've been to some away games. I think they've been fine to me.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't know. It's been a long time since I got to an away game. I mean, the fans always sound amazing on television. I think people are just picking. You know, there might have been louder games, but you know, it's one of those.
Yeah. We go another 10 more minutes before we wrap up the show as well, because I know you're a busy guy. You've got a family to look after as well.
Yeah.
I would talk about who's your worst manager for Newcastle United? Your worst manager ever to manage this football club?
Oh. I don't know. It's a hard one. I'm trying to think who was the worst one. I know I'm not sure how well Big Sam did. I know Steve Bruce got a lot of stick. There was a lot of bad games under him. Off the top of my head, I can't say who I disliked the most, who I thought was the worst. I'd probably need to look back at some statistics so I don't say the wrong person. But I tell you, one of the managers that I disliked, I wouldn't say he was one of the worst, was Ruth Gullit for what he did to Shearer. I mean, that was just stupid. But you know, So he got on my nerves for doing that to Shearer and leaving him out of the Sunderland game when we got beat. You don't leave Shearer out when he's in his prime. That's just somebody having too big an ego. So that one still sticks with me.
Yeah, the thing is that time they like the pick the lineup, Olsen Bizzle at the time, out of Headaway home, and when I was heard the team lineup on, it wasn't Talk Sport at the time, but when I heard that team lineup when Alan Shearer was dropped, everybody make way for Paul Robinson. I think he signed his own death warrant there because he wanted the sack, and that's why he dropped Shearer. That's certainly my guess.
Yeah,
he wanted the sack. And
well, I just think he wanted to say, I'm the manager. Mm-hmm. You might be the best player, but I picked the team, and it was an ego thing because you could see it. It was just two blokes, and Rudhull had a massive ego, and he decided to humiliate Shearer, and well, it backfired because you cannot do that to the best player, a Geordie. And the fans would have just looked and thought, you absolute idiot. You don't leave Shearer out. I mean, it's just the same as leaving Messi out or Ronaldo out. You just don't do it.
You just don't do it at all. Because at the end of the day, right? I mean, like I said, he did that to get the sack, in my opinion. You just don't do that. Yeah. A world-class player. They put in someone else in, Paul Robinson. It's just shocking. I've got one here from Kel Kamakasi. Big up to Kel, by the way, from Twitter. XWell, she said, joking here.
Oh, yeah.
Big up to Kel, by the way, in the chat, in the Twitter chat as well.
Yeah, he was pretty awful, yeah.
I know, to be fair. Someone said Jinky Jim was driving taxis now. Does seem right. And that's someone with so much talent. He has to do that to make a living. Well, I mean, as obviously Leslie and Alan knows him more than I do, to be fair. I heard of him. I think he used to play for Celtic, by the way. If I remember this correctly, I could be right on that one. 100% free on Hullet, ruined Paul Robinson just to upset Shearer. For me personally, I think they threw Paul Robinson. This is my opinion. I think they threw him under the bus because he couldn't believe his luck when he was picked. They played out front against Sunderland in a massive derby where you got to save Ruud Hullit's career as Newcastle's manager in the wet and pouring down rain that evening. I tell you what, I mean, to me then, I'm glad Hullet went. And then Bobby Robson came in and the rest was history.
Yeah, Bobby Robson was amazing.
We should have gotten a couple of years ago, but he couldn't leave Barca at the time. Yeah. That's why we got Kenny Dalglish instead. And the less said about that guy, the better. He totally dismantled the football club. Des Hamilton, Ian Rush, John Barnes. Wow. Unbelievable, people. Mm-hmm. Unbelievable. Les, you're right. He works part-time taxi to his local area where he lives in wide open, or really open, in a sheltered accommodation now. And so sorry to hear that as well for Jinky Jim. And I hope he's okay and he gets the best help as well. So just before we go, I mean, on to the Champions League. I mean, you say you got to play PSG and in AC Milan. I'll be in Paris as well. Can you honestly see us beat PSG or get something? I mean, if you don't win there, just do not get beat. We need to get a point. Do you know what? I'll be happy to get a point right
there. I think it might be expecting too much, but because we've already beat them, see, Dortmund seems to be our Achilles heel in this group. Like they just seem to be a team that know how to stop us. Whereas PSG, they're obviously going to come for us. They're going to attack us. So he's an amazing manager. Yes. So he's going to know that we need to stop Mbappe. He's going to know that we're going to have to not concede. If we can come away with a 0-0 or sneak a 1-0, it's going to be so difficult. So, yeah, it can be done, and we can do it. Will we do it? It's optimistic, but we're not a bad team anymore. We're a great team. So if we do have Isak back, there's nothing to say. We could, we could have a strong midfield, very strong defense, and on the counter, sneak a 1-0 or come away 0-0, 1-1. But if we came away 1-0, then maybe getting qualification will be back in our hands if we beat Milan. So it's doable.
It is.
Yeah.
It's doable. It is doable. For me, if you just get a draw, right, that's just as good as a win. Let's put this, we're a goal up in 95th minute, and PSG score from that. I was just, okay, cool. We didn't win the game, but a point, we didn't get beat. We just got to hope Dortmund beat Milan or just get a draw, and we go from there as well. So, yes or no, can we get through the last 16? Where do you think you'll go? Last 16 Champions League or Europa League, or we're going home?
Yeah. I think we'll do it.
You're going to do it. Last 16. Last 16. Yeah. Okay, I give it that as well. And Gibble says he still stays in contact with a lot of the squad players from that era too, which is fantastic. And one more from Alan. I hope Isak's fit for the restart. I've been hearing Wilson's out for 6 weeks. That is an absolute massive blow there. Wilson be out for 6 weeks. Unbelievable. And it's time for a close to show, Paul, but I'd like to thank you for joining us and wish you all the best with Christmas is with you. Can you please remind everyone where we could download or buy a copy? And is there anywhere on social media where people could support us? Also, one more, do you have any events coming up that you'd like to promote?
Right. Well, you can find the Christmas song on Christmas number 1 2023.co.uk. You can find me on YouTube, on TikTok and Instagram. It's either the Geordie Singer or Christmas number 1 2023. It's going to be one of those handles. And I'm playing after the Spurs game at the Wonder Bar at 6:30 in Newcastle in the Gate. I'm going to be performing my Geordie Singer show straight after the match. So if you're in Newcastle and you're at the match, come and see that. I know a lot of you might be away, but any of the fans that are staying in Newcastle to watch it in the Wonder Bar or in Newcastle, get up to watch me Geordie Singer show in the Wonder Bar 6:30 after the Spurs game.
Fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. I'm hoping to be there as well. I mean, it's down to 30 points at the minute. Hoping it gets down to 10. If it gets to 10, I'll probably have 15 as well. And again, did you enjoy coming on my show tonight? I know.
Very much. Thank you.
You deserve it. I have a quick with you backstage just for 2 minutes after the show, just 2 more quick ones, all right? And guys, thanks so much for coming on as well. So I didn't do the adverts tonight, but I will be doing that in the next live show. And if you like the video and you know what Paul's booging as well, yes, go on, Paul, man. Go on, man.
Oh, yeah.
I did a bit of dance as well with Trafford as well, one of the dancers on the stands as well. No one did see us though, but I don't even drink alcohol, but there you go. So I've got to say thanks to the chat as well. Thanks to Les. And Les said thanks to you as well, Paul. Thanks for coming on. He likes to drink and I bet he lost his business from betting that and on to drinking again. It is a crying shame. I totally agree. And take care to you, Les. Great show, John and Paul, and the chat. Alan is an absolute legend on my channel as well, an absolute legend. Great family as well from Mr. Hill as well. If you like the video, like what you watch, make sure you like and subscribe. And as always, have a fantastic evening.